Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Friday, the 10th of March. Good to have you aboard. We are, of course, a Blue Wire podcast. However you're listening to the program today, love you long time. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that other good stuff. Love that we can get the weekend started together. You're listening to this show right now, and then you're getting prepared for what is a huge sports weekend here for South Florida. You know, yesterday I was doing the show. I'm recording the show in the morning. Canes games at noon yesterday. Of course, the Canes win. They hang on. Got a little hairy there late. Wake Forest had a chance to win it in the end. And you're listening to this show, and you're listening in the future. I'm doing the show in the past. So I don't know that the Canes won, or maybe that the Canes are winning as you're listening to the program. I don't know when you're listening to ZASLOW Show 2.0. You may have it on at the same time you're watching the Canes game. I don't know what you got going on. That's your business. But you may know what happened in the Canes game. I didn't know. And so now the Canes advance, and that sets up a very big sports weekend. We got big stakes involved for all of our teams. Center of the sports universe. That's right, South Florida, Miami. So glad to have you here with us. You can always hit me up at ZASLOW Show. That's on Twitter. You can always go to @ZASLOWJ. That's on Instagram, where, of course, I'm an influencer. Everybody knows that. You know, we got big game, not a big game coming up today, presented by Brunt Insurance, bruntinsurance.com. We got big movie, not a big movie. I got to get to see Creed 3. Now, Creed 3 is not on big movie, not a big movie this week. I can tell you that. That's kind of a spoiler alert, but not really, because Creed 3 was on big movie, not a big movie last week. And you know, the ZASLOW boys were big into movies. Last weekend, we saw a great family flick called Cocaine Bear. So I think we're going to try and make time this weekend to go see Creed 3. But there's a lot happening, including Panthers tonight. I don't think I'm trying to go to the Panther game. I think I'm going to go to the Panther game. And you all know the difference between the two, all right? If I'm going to the Panther game, that means I'm buying tickets. I've been pricing out tickets. I think I'm going to the Panther game tonight. We're going to pack the family into the ZASLOW mobile, and we're going to go to the Panther game tonight. If I were trying to go to the Panther game tonight, that would mean I'm looking for the hookup. That would mean I'm looking for tickets. But I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to the Panther game tonight. And that means I'll be recording the Canes game. I'll watch the Canes when I get home. I'll be recording the Heat game as well. I'll watch the Heat when I get home. I'll do a little side-by-side action there. Heat big TV when I get home. Canes small TV when I get home. That's probably what we got going on here. And it's important for the Hurricanes because, look, you got Canes Duke tonight. On the other side, you got Virginia Clemson. Duke is as hot as anyone in the ACC right now. The Canes, if they could win this ACC tournament, I don't know, could you wind up, can you possibly wind up, excuse me, a 3 seed maybe? Selection Sunday, coming up Sunday night. The key, though, is here's what you're looking for. And I saw this recently. I think the most recent, you know, the projections from Fran Fraschilla, he's an expert, he knows, had the Canes as a 4 seed, but playing the first and second round games in Orlando, which would be so cool. I think me and my older son would go. I've never been to an NCAA tournament game. And the Canes, in a year where it feels like, not only does it feel like they can make a run, but they were in the regional final last year. So I've never been to an NCAA tournament game. I think we would go to Orlando. So that's really what I'm looking forward to. I want the Canes to win tonight. I want the Canes to win tomorrow, because winning the ACC tournament after winning the ACC regular season championship would be great. But I also wanted to increase their chances of getting that favorable seeding and then getting that favorable, you know, as far as where they're going to play. They wouldn't have to travel very far. That's what I'm really looking forward to Sunday night for Selection Sunday. Now, ZASLOW Show 2.0, everything ZASLOW Show 2.0, you know, is brought to us by Anidjar and Levine. Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys. They're out there making sure that if you've been in an accident, if you're dealing with a personal injury, that you're going to get the money that you deserve. If you're in an accident, car, motorcycle, boating, slip and fall, you call 911 first. You got to make sure that you're okay. And then you get a lawyer on the phone immediately by calling 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Mark Anidjar, Glenn Levine, Ellie Anidjar, they've supported me and ZASLOW Show 2.0 before we even started, all right? So they're helping me. You got to make sure that you're going to the right place as well if you're dealing with an injury, and that's why I send you to Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, the best there is out there. 800-747-FREE, that's 800-747-3733. So we got some fun stuff to get to today. We'll start out with a very controversial poll. That's right. Today, on a Friday, let's get things going with a very controversial poll question. ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll question today is, all right, as a Miami Dolphins fan, again, go to @ZASLOW Show, you can vote. As a Miami Dolphins fan, will it bother you if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers? Will that bother you? Your choices are yes, fuck them. No, fuck them. Those are your choices. So go vote right now @ZASLOW Show. As a Miami Dolphins fan, will it bother you if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers? I'll update it again later on in the show here, but right now the leader at 58% of the vote. The Dolphin fan who listens to ZASLOW Show 2.0 is saying, no, fuck them. That's the leader right now. For me, I go no. I go no, fuck them. Because I want now it seems like we're getting to a place like it seems like Aaron Rodgers is going to be traded to the Jets. Who knows? I can't tell the future. But by the time you're listening to this later today, he may already be with the Jets. I saw you got a video on TikTok. It was Sauce Gardner. I think it was another couple guys from the Jets. They were around like they were doing like witchcraft, and they were throwing cheese heads into the fire. They're saying that the things they would do and the things they wouldn't do. I felt like I was watching The Craft. But anyway, it seems like we're headed toward a place where Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the Jets. I want this to happen. Wait, ZASLOW, you want the Jets to get better? No. I think it's going to be a disaster because that's the way it goes with the New York Jets. They're a disaster franchise. Aaron Rodgers, he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's doing douchebag darkness retreats. He's a mess. He's a troublemaker. You got the New York media, who's going to be all up his culo. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like. I think Aaron Rodgers of the Jets is going to be so much fun. There's going to be so much attention, and I think it's going to flop. Now, the Jet fan is super excited if this happens. That's another part. That's another reason why I want to see it. I like the idea of the Jet fan getting super excited and then coming crashing back down to earth. Earth, of course, is the place where the Jets suck. I hope that the Jets get Aaron Rodgers. I really do. I think that the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers will be so much fun for the Dolphin fan to witness. I'm going to love facing him twice a year and helping bury the New York Jets and bury Aaron Rodgers for that matter. I mean, look, don't you think it'll be very New York Jets that they get Aaron Rodgers, they're super excited about it, and they get the Aaron Rodgers, the version of Aaron Rodgers when he finally falls off a cliff. He was still good last year. He was good. He was good. And the Jets are a team, great defense. The Jets are a team that if they get good quarterback play, they could do some damage. By the way, Zach Wilson, they must hate Zach Wilson. They're so done with him. And I guess they got reason to. He's terrible. He was a super high draft pick. Apparently, the teammates don't like him. You know, his behavior in that press conference was awful. So no one wants to play with him anymore. It's not even like Zach Wilson. I mean, he'll get a chance somewhere else, I guess. But it feels like Zach Wilson's career's over. I want the Jets to get Aaron Rodgers because I want the Dolphins to play. Aaron Rodgers is so unlikable, so good. Put him on the most unlikable team with the most unlikable fan base, and I want the Dolphins to have 2 cracks at him. I won't say every year because he's only going to play 1 more year. So hopefully the Jets, they got to give up a ton for him, and then you get stuck with washed-up Aaron Rodgers, who then retires. It'd be very, very Jets. So that's today's poll question. ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll. As a Miami Dolphin fan, will it bother you if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers? The answer is yes, fuck them. No, fuck them. And right now, 58% of the vote is going, no, fuck them. That's where we're at right now. So make sure you go vote at ZASLOW Show. I think that'd be so much fun. So we're keeping an eye on that. Other NFL stuff. So it really is amazing where it's never been like this before. This started like a couple years ago, right? It's never been like this before where you have so many quarterbacks. Look at all the quarterbacks that are available and or moving teams. Potentially moving teams. Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, Jimmy Garoppolo. Just right there, those are 4 good to great quarterbacks who are just available. That never happens. Garoppolo, is Garoppolo a free agent? He might be a free agent. Garoppolo, Rodgers, Jackson, Derek Carr, we know already signed with the New Orleans Saints. It's incredible how many quarterbacks every year now are either available via free agency. I mean, look, a quarterback as good as Lamar Jackson has never hit free agency. Those kind of quarterbacks never get to free agency. That's unprecedented. But every year now, it seems, you got good quarterbacks who are available. When it used to be the only way you're going to get a really good quarterback, got to draft him. Got it? Like it was crazy. And we're talking 10 years ago, right? It was wild when Peyton Manning was available. And the reason he was available was because he was coming off of a major neck injury. No one knew if he was going to be able to play again. And because of which, they got the number 1 overall pick, so they were going to draft Andrew Luck. So it was extenuating circumstances. Another one that comes to mind, Drew Brees. Drew Brees became available from the Chargers because he was good, and then he wasn't good. So then they drafted Phillip Rivers. Rivers sat for a couple of years, and then I was like, and in Brees' final year with the Chargers, he was actually really good again, but I was like, all right, we got this guy Rivers who we think is better, and he's sitting on the bench for a couple years. It's time to do this already. So Brees became available. That used to be how it is. If a good quarterback is available on the market, either via free agency or he's going to be available via trade, there had to be extenuating circumstances. Now, dudes are just available. Really, really different from the way that it used to be. Now, speaking of guys being available, so we're back to the bullshit. We're back to doing the bullshit, right? And the bullshit that I'm talking about, of course, is Tom Brady. So we're back to the bullshit, right? We're not even a month. Now, granted, this is what happened last year, right? It was a month later. Brady retired. A month later, not so much. And we all know that was a fake retirement, that they had really concocted a plan with the Miami Dolphins, that they were to get Sean Payton and Tom Brady, and it went kaplooey because Brian Flores is suing the NFL and the Miami Dolphins. So Brady, he had to unretire, and it's like, all right, I guess I'm playing with the Bucs because I am under contract there. Well, now you got the bullshit out there again. Now granted, Rich Eisen said something a couple weeks ago, right? Rich Eisen was the first one who was like, I'm hearing things about Brady. He may not be retired. All right. Tom Brady a couple days ago, in response to this stuff, put out a tweet saying something to the effect of, I just got my daughter a kitten. I don't have time to play football anymore. Okay. Denzel's here. Okay. And now you got the bullshit out there in full force because Scott Zolak, insufferable New England talk show host and New England Patriots color analyst, here's Scott Zolak on his radio show yesterday.
Brady may go to Miami. I think that's in play. I do. I think the possibility of him coming out of retirement is definitely 100% in play. You could sit there and look at the kitten tweet from yesterday. Don't buy that. This isn't me saying it. This isn't someone close to Brady. Like, it started with Rich Eisen. Eisen's out the Super Bowl. Multiple people Drop the hints. This is Colin Cowherd. He knows the Fox people. I don't think he's going to call games. How does that deal get done? How do you sign a guy to that? $375 million 10-year contract to call games. He's not even going to do it next year. I know his handlers have moved to Miami. It's built for him. He was looking at private schools for his kids. And Cowherd talks about the San Francisco offense. He's not talking about San Francisco. He's talking about Mike McDaniel.
It doesn't even make sense. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Scott Zolak is lying, because I don't think he's just making stuff up. But these guys in New England, and I don't think Rich Eisen's making stuff up. But these guys in New England, they are obsessed. They can't stop with Tom Brady. It's always Tom Brady. And if from a Dolphins perspective, Tom Brady's totally in play, 100% in play, and it's the Dolphins. It doesn't make any sense. You can't. And hey, they went after Tom Brady before. It was 3 years ago. It's 3 years ago. The version of Tom Brady that ended up winning a Super Bowl his first year in Tampa. Not this version of Tom Brady that we're seeing right now. And also, not this version of Tom Brady while you have Tua. And you know what Tua's capable of. Oh, ZASLOW, but Tua, you don't know if he can even play. We're walking on eggshells every single play. That's true. But here's the thing. You can't be out on Lamar Jackson, but you're in on Brady. You can't come out and say, we're not even going to attempt. Now, I know that you can't do anything about Lamar Jackson right now. You got to wait till after the draft. But you can't come out and say you're out on Lamar Jackson, but you're in on 1 year of Tom Brady. It's malpractice if you're the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. You can't, it's just not logical. It doesn't make sense. You can't be out on Lamar Jackson. And you know money's not an issue. The hell does Stephen Ross care? Stephen Ross can't take the money with you. He's getting up there in age. It's not a money thing for Stephen Ross why they're out on Lamar Jackson. If you believe that they're out on Lamar Jackson, and I do, whether that's the right move or not, it's because they're all in on Tua. If you're out on Lamar Jackson, you can't be in on Tom Brady. At most, Brady's playing 1 more year. You're going to end your relationship with Tua, because that's what it'll be. He'd be going into his 4th year without the 5th-year option picked up. If he doesn't play in the 4th year, you're not going to pick up the 5th-year option or give him a contract. So you're going to end your relationship with Tua for 1 year of aging Tom Brady. Can't do it. Can't do it. And here's the thing. Brady wasn't that good last year. I mean, by general quarterback standards, he was good. By Tom Brady standards, he was not. He was bad. It was closer to bad. It would be the same way the Jets and the Aaron Rodgers experience is going to go, is shaping up to go. It would be so Dolphins for them to get Brady and get the really bad, washed version of him. Can't do it. It's one thing to go after Brady, which the Dolphins did. We all know that. It's one thing to go after Brady when you don't have another quarterback. They didn't have Tua at this time. And Brady's coming off of his last year in New England, and he still wants to play potentially 4 or 5 more years. It's one thing to go after Brady then now throw away your relationship with Tua, which is what they'd be doing, and go after Brady when it finally looks like you might be getting the washed version of Brady. But to me, the major sticking point, you can't be out on Lamar Jackson and in on Brady. Now, I think all these teams are out on Lamar Jackson because they know what I don't think it's because of collusion. I certainly don't think it's because he's black. I think they're out on Lamar Jackson because they know what his demands are, and he has not been willing to budge whatsoever. I think Stephen Ross knows how much money that Lamar Jackson is asking for, and I don't think Stephen Ross cares. I think Stephen Ross would have no problem forking over that money. Like I said, he's in his 80s. He's desperate to win. You can't take the money with you. But they're in on Tua. That's their guy. You can't be out on Lamar Jackson, who, I don't necessarily agree with it. I would talk to Lamar Jackson, and I would say, look, you obviously know the rules. We can't, and these rules are archaic. Like, it's 2 first-round picks. Why does it have to be, why does it have to be your own first-round pick? Like, if the Dolphins still had the 49ers first-round pick, if they didn't trade it away for Bradley Chubb, they would not be able to use that in the Lamar Jackson trade for, if they sign up for the franchise tag. They wouldn't be able to use that. It has to be your 2 original first-round picks. Why? And why does it have to be these next 2 years? Why can't it be 2 first-round picks whenever you want, whenever the 2 teams agree? That seems archaic. But anyway, I do believe that the Dolphins, if Lamar Jackson wants to play for the Dolphins, and I'm pretty sure Dave Hyde wrote about this, I would tell him, let's have this conversation again the day after the draft, and then we can make a trade, because they can't do this until after the draft, and then you give your next 2 original first-round picks, 2024 and 2025. I would do it. Like, look, for Lamar Jackson, I would end the Tua relationship. I don't think there's anyone else out. I mean, you do it for Patrick Mahomes. Okay, but he's not available. There's no one else out there that I would do that with. I would do it for Lamar Jackson. You got an injury risk with Jackson. You got an injury risk with Tua. Injury risk for Jackson is how many games is he going to miss. Injury risk for Tua is, can he ever play again? And Lamar Jackson's also a lot better. Lamar Jackson's also a lot better than Tua. If Tua wasn't hurt at all this year, I would not do it. Because I love that Tua's our guy. I don't want to bring in another guy. Even if the other guy is better, I think Tua's good enough. I love that Tua's our guy. It's so much more enjoyable when it's your guy. But that's not the scenario we're in. So I don't think it makes sense for the Dolphins to be out on Lamar Jackson. I would wait till after the draft and try and get something done. But you can't be out on Lamar Jackson so quickly and be in on Tom Brady. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't be running the team if that's your line of thinking, if you're Chris Grier. And I don't think that's their line of thinking. I don't think that's what Chris Grier is doing right there. Hey, make sure, at ZASLOW Show on Twitter, go vote. Do you want, as a Dolphin fan, do you want the New York Jets to get Aaron Rodgers? And of course, doing a little there on Tom Brady. Big night in the NBA last night. We'll get to that coming up. But listen. Oh, and I want to say real quick. So last night there was no, you had no Heat last night. Canes were in the afternoon. No Panthers last night. That's all going on tonight. All 3 of them, same time. Canes, Heat, Panthers. What a night. Center of the sports universe, South Florida. What a night. But last night, what was going on? Well, you had Impact Wrestling on, but no WWE, no AEW. So I was watching last night a movie called The Long Shot, or Long Shot. I'd seen this movie before. I forgot how funny this movie is. That's with Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen, where she's Secretary of State and she's going to run for president, and he's like, Seth Rogen, and they fall for each other. He's a writer. They fall for each other. And anyway, I don't need to get O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's kid. I love everything he does. That dude is funny as hell, man. That movie, Long Shot, if you're looking for something funny to watch this weekend, if you like, the Seth Rogen type movies, you like those comedies, movie is laugh out loud funny. And if you've seen Long Shot, you know exactly what scene. I mean, I was howling last night. I totally forgot about it, and I forgot how funny the movie was. So, you're looking for something fun to watch, not necessarily with the kids, at least not the scene that I'm talking about there. You know what I'm talking about. At least not that scene. You kind of cover the kids' eyes. It's a little bit gross, not appropriate. Think something about Mary. Think something about Mary, the hair gel. You know what I'm talking about. All right. But if you're looking for something fun, yeah, that movie, Long Shot, that movie's fun. All right. We still got a lot to get to on the show today. First, though, I got to tell you guys about one of our newest sponsors, all right? Actually, it's our newest sponsor. We got another sponsor coming on board next week. I'm excited to tell you guys about them. Actually, got another 2 sponsors that may be coming on board next week. I'm excited to tell you about both of them. But right now, our newest sponsor is Broward Meat and Fish. Broward Meat and Fish is my newest favorite supermarket. It's a full supermarket. When I tell you Broward Meat and Fish, you know, you're envisioning in your head, all right, I'm walking into a butcher's shop. Not only are you walking into a supermarket that has the best selection of fish and meat I've ever seen, but you're doing a full grocery shop there. You got everything at Broward Meat and Fish. Let me tell you a little bit more about our newest sponsor, Broward Meat and Fish. If you love good food, stop what you're doing. It's the weekend. You're going to prepare some foods. You're going to go shopping, do a full shop. Hey, we all want the best quality when we're prepping for our next meal. Broward Meat and Fish, your one-stop shop, not just for meat and seafood, produce, complete selection of groceries, frozen foods, freshly prepared hot food, deli meats. They'll make you that boar's head sub, wines, cheeses. I was at Broward Meat and Fish this past weekend. Grand opening for their newest location. They got 3 locations, all right? North Lauderdale, Pembroke Pines right here by me. Their newest location, grand opening this past weekend, was in Margate. This location is beautiful. You walk in, I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. Full supermarket, amazing selection of meat and fish. The butchers and fishmongers at their full-service meat and seafood counters, they're going to prepare your selection exactly the way you want it. The perfect cut, the freshest flavor and quality. And one of the things I especially love about Broward Meat and Fish, and you understand this if you're a South Florida guy like me, they've specialized in serving the Caribbean and Latin community in South Florida for almost 30 years now. Broward Meat and Fish offering all the products that remind all of us where we come from. Their shelves are stocked with international brands from Jamaica and Haiti, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Peru. You're getting the flavor you love at Broward Meat and Fish. Of course, Johnny Cuba's there. You pick up a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba. Pick up that Johnny Cuba picante sauce, the finest Jamaican peppers. You know what I'm talking about. BrowardMeatandFish.com. Find the location nearest to you. Let's get to big game or not a big game. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Big game or not a big game. It's Friday. There's so much going on. You're saying to yourself, Zaslow, I can't keep up with all the big games. You got to tell me if it's worth my time. You got to tell me if it's a big game or if it's not a big game. Big game or not a big game is brought to us by the only insurance provider that we go with. We're talking Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. BruntInsurance.com, 954-589-2204. If you need home insurance, I've had my home insurance with Brunt Insurance now for about 10 years, all right? So if I'm telling you this and I keep renewing, you know that you can trust what I'm telling you here because I use them myself and I never have any issues. If I got a question, I get Greg Brunt on the phone, 954-589-2204, bruntinsurance.com, from Pensacola to the Keys and beyond. Brunt Insurance is delivering comprehensive insurance tailored to exactly your needs since 2013. They specialize in home, auto, life insurance you need on your boat. bruntinsurance.com. You can go on social media as well, at Brunt Insurance. The market's confusing. Can't just open up Google and put homeowners insurance. No. You need to get someone on the phone from Brunt Insurance. They know the market. It could be confusing, not for them. And wherever you're located, I already told you, from Pensacola to the Keys and beyond, they're fully licensed staff. They're going to know the area you're calling about. We're talking affordable, not just home insurance. You need renters, condo insurance, bruntinsurance.com. Their fully licensed team is going to help you every step of the way. Like I said, I've been using Greg Brunt and his team at Brunt Insurance for almost 10 years now. And now I go to sleep with that peace of mind. I don't have to worry. God forbid something happens, I'm taken care of. That's what Brunt Insurance is going to do for you as well. 954-589-2204. Let's get to big game or not a big game. Here we go. It's a monster sports weekend for South Florida, center of the sports universe. All right, tonight, Friday night, 7 p.m., ESPN 2. Used to be called The Deuce. Now it's just ESPN 2. Duke Blue Devils. I mean, these kids who go to the Duke games, they think it's their birthright to win every single game. A bunch of nerds. Duke, the number 21 ranked team in the land. They're red hot, though. Against the number 14 ranked team in the land and the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament, your Miami Hurricanes men's basketball team. Jim Larinaga had them boys out there running around, building up, I think, an 18-point lead at one point. Got down to 2. Wake Forest chucked up a shot from half court. No good. You were holding your breath. You were a little bit worried for a second. Nonetheless, Isaiah Wong, Nigel Pack, Norchad Omier. I mean, come on. This Hurricane team, they're fun to watch, man. I love watching that Norchad Omier. He's big, he's physical, he muscles his way at the basket. Miami wins tonight. They play the winner of Clemson, Virginia. Could we get another big showdown between the Canes and Virginia for the ACC Tournament Championship? I already told you, if the Canes do well in this tournament, you're hoping they get the high seed in the NCAA Tournament Selection Sunday. And then, can they wind up getting placed in Orlando on Sunday? That's what I'm talking about. Duke, Miami. That's a big game. Yeah, you know this. You know it is. All right. Friday, 7 p.m. Bally Sports, Florida. Chicago Blackhawks at the Florida Panthers. Now, here's where we stand. This is the first night of a back-to-back. I'll get to that in a second. You know Sergei Bobrovsky's in net tonight. Is he going to get both games in between the pipes? Look, they pay him a lot of money. They have to win all these games. He's been standing on his head. He's really been excellent. I think Bobrovsky's got the net both nights. I think he's getting the back to... You know, it's not Spencer Knight. He's away from the team. God knows what. Alex Lyon's the backup. I'm putting Bobrovsky in net. I think the murderer fun Paul Maurice will as well. I'm putting him in between the pipes both games this weekend. Anyway, here's what you're looking at right now. Ottawa won last night, so the Panthers find themselves in a tie with 70 points. They're the first teams out of the 2 wildcard spots. Ottawa does have a game in hand on the Panthers, but both teams with 70 points. Florida looking up at Pittsburgh and the New York Islanders. Those 2 teams played last night, and it was the worst case scenario. It was a 3-point game and the Islanders won. 3-point game between the Islanders and Penguins was exactly what you did not want. Well, it happened. So the Panthers were dealt a bad break last night. The Islanders won. The Islanders now 6 points up on the Panthers. The Panthers have 2 games in hand. That's important. The Penguins, 4 points up on the Panthers. The Penguins have 1 game in hand. So they're up against it. And a game like tonight against the Blackhawks, who have the least points in the entire Western Conference, this needs to be a game that you take that ass. Panthers, Blackhawks, that's a big game. That's right. We're not even through Friday yet. This is how much is going on in South Florida. Friday, 8 p.m., Bally Sports Sun. Can't also be on Bally Sports Florida. It's on Bally Sports Sun. Cleveland Cavaliers at Miami Heat. The Heat are a disappointing 2-3 on this 6-game homestand. The Cavs beat the Heat a couple of nights ago. The Heat enter tonight. They are 2 back in the loss column of both numbers 5 and 6 in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. The last 2 guaranteed playoff spots. They're 2 back in the loss column of both New York and... 3 back in the loss column of both New York and Brooklyn, even though both those teams lost last night. So the Heat picked up a game in the loss column of both those teams, but they're still 3 back. And of course, Cleveland right now, they're number 4 in the East. The Heat are likely going to be a play-in team. And like I told you, I think it's more about not catching New York or Brooklyn for one of the guaranteed playoff spots. I think it's about holding off Atlanta and keeping the 7 spot, which means you got 2 chances to win 1, and they would both be at home at Miami-Dade Arena. That's what the building's called this week. So tonight, Cleveland at Miami. That's a big game. Yup, that's right. All 3 teams tonight, Canes, Panthers, Heat, all in action this evening. Big games. All right, we're moving on to tomorrow. Saturday, 7 p.m., Bally Sports Sun. Miami Heat are they coming off of a win against the Cleveland Cavaliers? At the Orlando Magic. Interstate rivals. The Magic stink, but they're not as bad as they were at the beginning of the year. We know the Magic always give the Heat trouble. It's so stupid, and it's the second night of a back-to-back. Who's going to be sitting out for the Heat? Guys have to sit out, although the Heat aren't so bad about it, but guys have to sit out. Are we getting the impending return of Kyle Lowry? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see him again this season. I don't want to see him in a Miami Heat uniform ever again. Tomorrow night, Heat at Magic. That's a big game. Also tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Bally Sports, Florida. Winnipeg Jets at Florida Panthers. Will the Panthers be coming off of a win from the previous night over Chicago, inching closer to Pittsburgh and New York for one of those wild card spots? The Winnipeg Jets, these are big games for them. Right now, they have 75 points. They're one of the wild card teams. They're 4 up on the third place team, I guess, or 9th place overall, trying to stave off Jonathan Huberdeau and the Calgary Flames. So tomorrow night, the season-long 7-game homestand for the Panthers continues. Winnipeg at Florida. That's a big game. I got to circle back for a second here. I forgot one. Friday night, tonight, 8 p.m., Fox, WWE SmackDown. Is Roman Reigns going to be on the show? He was on SmackDown last week. The Bloodline. What's the reaction to Jey Uso returning this past Monday and showing Sami Zayn, I'm not with you, I'm with my brother, I'm still with the Bloodline? What's the fallout there? Also, huge fatal 5-way. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Braun Strowman, no, not Braun Strowman. 2 other guys, I can't remember, Karrion Kross, and one other guy, I can't remember. Maybe it's Rey Mysterio. The winner gets a shot at the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, at WrestleMania. That's a big game. That's a very big game. Finally, I got one more here for you ass. Saturday night, 7:30, Apple Plus. That's how you watch MLS games. Inter Miami hits the road for the first time this year at NYCFC. Inter Miami's 2-0 for the first time in franchise history. They're one of just 2 teams, along with New England, to start the season undefeated in the Eastern Conference, or at least 2-0 in the Eastern Conference. You got NYCFC. They have not won yet. They're 0-1-1. So they're going to be a little bit desperate. Can Inter Miami take that beautiful game they've been playing at home and bring it with them on the road? They haven't given up a goal yet this year. 4 goals for, 0 goals against. Calendar has been excellent in net. Inter Miami at NYCFC. That's a big game. And that right there is another edition of Big Game or Not a Big Game, brought to us by Brunt Insurance. Make sure you get all your insurance needs from the only insurance agency I trust, Brunt Insurance and Financial Services, bruntinsurance.com. And again, 954-589-2204.